Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Bhagavad-Gita Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta
Hare Krishna. Once again, I would like to welcome all of you for our this Gita course. And yes, we are looking forward to have darshan of our beloved deity Gaurnitai and Radha Krishna, where we will be offering our humble obeisances, our humble pranam, and our humble gratitude to the deities, to the Lord, for giving us an opportunity to come together and hear Bhagavad-Gita. So yes, we'll offer obeisances, we'll offer flowers, we'll offer lamps. So you should have definitely, you can offer, or definitely you can offer from your heart. So now we'll go to our Sachijivan Prabhus. We can get started, Aarti. So yes, we'll start our Aarti now. Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
श्री राधा श्याम स्वरूप निताय भगवान की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you very much, Sachi Jivan Gaur Prabhu. So now let's start our prayer to the Lord. Om Ajnanaतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarini Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So once again, I would like to welcome all the devotees for our third session of this our Gita course. So where we are embarking on this journey to understand this divine song of God, to understand the divine instructions of the Lord, for the whole mankind. Yes, we are discussing based on the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya of our movement. And we are very grateful and indebted to Srila Prabhupada for giving us this wonderful opportunity to share the glories of Bhagavad-Gita. Yes, today we'll be speaking on this beautiful topic called Why Do I Suffer? Okay, so before we go that, I would like to hear from all of you on what we had discussed so far. So in the first session, second session, anybody would like to reflect? This is our Vedic parampara, in any Gurukul, that whatever you study, it's called Simha Abalokana. And we look back and see, okay, what we have covered so far. Any thoughts anybody would like to share? Yes. Ms. Rekha is saying we talked about true happiness. Yes, everybody is looking for this Anandamayo Bhyasa. Yes, we are looking for bliss. But then once you're looking for the bliss, but ultimately we end up with getting misery, because we discussed Yehi Sansparsaja Bhoga. We quoted from Bhagavad-Gita 5.22, where it is said that like with every pleasure comes pain. Like as a buy one get one free. What it comes in a package, and whatever we try to get it, it is whatever we try to enjoy with our senses. It is always comes with the pain. It always having a beginning and it is an end, and it is always limited. It cannot give us the unlimited happiness to us. What else? Yes, we talked about. Yes, we have to look for the true happiness, true bliss. And yes, we have to find it at the right place. This is not available in this material world that we heard from Bhagavad-Gita, from this 8.15, where Lord is saying to Arjuna, Mamopetya punarjanma dukkhalayam asaswatam. This place is a hospital. We have come as to get purified, to get rectified from all our anarthas. And then we have to take the help of manual, how we can purify ourselves. We have to take the instructions of Bhagavad-Gita, where it has been given to us how we can perfect our life, how we can have a meaningful, purposeful life. And then we said how it is very important for us to understand that, yes, we are the lost son of a billionaire father. Our Supreme Father is all wealthy, all rich, all strength. He's having everything, but we have just turned our face away from him. And once we go there, once again, we'll have the true happiness. And how we can really purify ourselves, what is the process? We talked about, yes, we have to take this medicine of chanting of the holy name, so that our mind gets purified and once again we connect back to the Supreme Lord. Yes. And what do we discuss in the second session? Yes, there are so many beautiful points. We talked about how in the second session we started from the discussion of Bhagavad-Gita. What is the essence of Bhagavad-Gita? We described in one-liner. Anybody remembers? Yes, we said that how it is so beautifully. It is talking about the art of working, the art of working. For whom? For Krishna. Where? While living in this material world. So the Bhagavad Gita talks about Karma Yoga, it talks about Bhakti Yoga, it talks about Jnana Yoga. It talks about art of working for Krishna while living in this material world. We talked about how this Bhakti Yoga is there, as a sandwich. All right, like on the lower part we have this Karma Yoga, and then on the upper part we have the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, in the middle, this Bhakti Yoga. How to develop Bhakti has been very elaborately, very prominently given. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes, you talked about what is yoga. Yes, we talked about, like, Shivaram Prabhu is saying that yes, yoga means connecting to Krishna. And then we hear, like, yes, Snabhya is saying that yes, how this Krishna consciousness process leads to right victory, purity, clarity. We heard from Sanjay himself. He is giving the feedback at the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Yatra Gesara Krishna, yatra Partha Dharmatra, tatra Sri Vijaya Bhuti Mitir. So once you practice this process of Bhagavad Gita, we get 4 things. What is that? Tatra Sri Vijaya Bhuti Nitir Mama. Like, how he is saying that, yes, there is bound to be opulence. And then we started talking about Bhagavad Gita first chapter, where we talked about the demoniac and evil, attitude of Dhritarashtra, how he was having the differentiated mentality, me and they, even though they are all part of the same dynasty. That talked about Dhritarashtra, and then we talked about Duryodhan, how he had everything kept in place, great commanders, so much of powerful Sena, right? He tried to bring the positive attitude with everybody. He understood what is the strength and weakness of his party and the opposite party, and then he tried to encourage Drona and Bhisma, and also encouraged everybody. But then we also discussed about the signs of victory for Pandavas, right? Which was really missing in Kauravas. And what was a prominent sign? We said, because yes, along with Pandavas, what was there? Lord Krishna was there. Lakshmi Pati was there. Because wherever there is a Lord, goddess of fortune follows him. So how wonderful it is, right? And then we talked about what are the signs of victory for the Pandavas. Yes, we talked about Narayana and Narayani Sena, right? We have to, go after the Lord himself, and the energies will automatically follow them. And then we discussed about so in detailed way as well, that how we have to keep that principles directly to our home. We have to make our houses Bhavan, where we keep Bhagavan in the center. And then we discussed about how we can make a good association, like Arjuna had a devotee of Lord and Hanuman with him, and how he had beautiful counsels, Divya Sankho. And similarly, our life should be completely connected to the transcendental sound vibration of the Lord, of the holy name, and just holy name and holy fame of the Lord. How we can be really absorbed in those beautiful transcendental sound vibrations. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Subra. She is saying that Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. Yes, wonderful. So we discussed about how Lord, he was ready to pull the chariot of his devotee. And then we extended it further, talked about what is the mode of a servant leader. Then we talked about Srila Prabhupada, that how he used to serve his disciples in cooking and even cleaning utensils for them. because one of the disciple, his name was Maha, and he said that once I was there, and I didn't know like who is cooking, who is doing all this background chores, and then he realized that the Swamiji, who is this old Indian guru, he is doing everything for us, so that we can take this process seriously and sincerely. And then the first time, Swamiji really got that help. We can see how much sacrifice he did, for the pleasure of, his disciples or the new coming, devotees. Yes, the devotee doesn't want any glory; he just wants to serve, and in turn, he wants to glorify the members who are coming for this Gita course. Oh, wonderful! Thank you for giving us an opportunity to serve you. And then the last section we talked about how Arjuna got perplexed, with so many doubts, and he was in completely confusion, because of, oh, I will, how can I really kill my relatives? How once I kill all my relatives, how can I enjoy? Oh, I'll, incur a lot of sinful, reactions out of it. Oh, if I do this, whole the dynasty will go away, right? And in that condition, now we approach to chapter 2. Okay, so here, okay, just quickly go through it. Yes, we talked about, now we'll now talk about chapter 2. In this chapter 2, what happens? This chapter starts with once again, Arjuna and Krishna's discussion, where Arjuna talks about his indecision. He's not able to finalize whether he should fight or he should not fight. And then finally he surrenders to Krishna. Oh Krishna, I'm really confused. Please accept me as your disciple. So this is the moment where a friend, because at that point of time, like the Partha and Krishna, they were like friend, like Arjuna and Krishna, they were like friends. But this point of time, a friend, took the role of a disciple, right? And then Prabhupada talks about, right, everywhere, and in the Bhagavad-Gita, it talks about Dhritarashtra vacha, Sanjaya vacha, Arjuna vacha. But whenever Krishna speaks, in Bhagavad-Gita, Vyasadeva writes, Bhagavan vacha. So we'll try to understand, how, and like a devotee really understands, the Lord, or there is a Bhagavan. But others, like Duryodhana and so many other demons like Ravana, Karna, they could not understand Krishna as the Lord, Krishna as a Bhagavan. Right? So how do you know if there is a really God exists? What, how should we really prove that? We'll talk about little today as well. And then the first spiritual subject that Krishna talks about in Bhagavad Gita as an identity. Who are we? Who am I? Right? That really starts from this 11th verse of 2nd chapter, where it talks about that, yes, we are the soul, not the body. And then really he gives a lot of properties or attributes of the soul. We'll discuss about it. And then in Bhagavad Gita, okay, we understand the soul. But then, right, I'm also, I have also this body. How do I really take care of the duty of my body and of the soul? So how I can take these two activities side by side? How can I really live an integrated life? And that really talks about, like in this third section of this Bhagavad Gita of the 2nd chapter. And in the 4th section, like Lord talks about the qualities of Atmaram. Once I really follow these principles, these two principles in a determined, in an enthusiastic way, right? How he can really become a realized soul, Atmarama, self-realized. He really finds a bliss within. And how then he becomes unaffected by the perpetual perplexities, like Nitya Dvandva, success and victory and happiness and sorrow, right? How he can really be free from that. So in turn, like Rupa says that this is the Gita. The 2nd chapter of Gita talks about a summary of Gita, like Guru and God, identity, two duties, and talks about Atmaram. So yes, right, we are really once again thankful to Srila Prabhupada for giving us this Bhagavad Gita as it is. And we call as it is. And I would like to just narrate a very small pastime, and we're really amazed to hear that this Bhagavad Gita as it is, this book, has not come just by chance. So all of us know that how Srila Prabhupada struggled to go to America. And then once he went into Butler, Pennsylvania, then he went to New York, and he just went a storefront. Like once he went to US, he had just a 40 Indian rupees, right? Hardly anything, might not be enough for even a 1 days of living. Once he went there, somehow he went to New York, found a storefront, and somehow he used to manage the rent for that storefront, and he used to really get adjusted to that. But then over a period of time, he realized that yes, I need to share this Bhagavad-Gita, which is the essence of all our scriptures. And then he said, okay, how do I do it? Yes, I have written this beautiful manuscript. Then he talked to a couple of his well-wishers like Allen Ginsberg and some of his disciples like Rai Ram, and they were saying that no, like this book has hardly any commercial value. I don't think any will be published, and we don't have money to publish. So how should we go ahead about it? And then he called one of his other disciple called Bruce or Brahmananda. They said, can you please organize, to somehow publish this book? Because once we have this book, people will be able to realize, what exactly the true instructions of Bhagavad Gita. And then he tried, but to no like success, right? He was not really able to get it through. And then at that point of time, Srila Prabhupada also had created a song album of his songs that he was chanting in the Tompkins Square Park or in his that small storefront. And they had prepared a small album called Happening. And they had put that ad as well in this local newspaper, and they used to get one of order to deliver this album. And one fine day, they received an order like from some guy, right? And it's written that Macmillan Publishing House. And like this devotee went, oh, Srila Prabhupada, do you know that somebody from Macmillan Publishing House, they have ordered our album? And then Prabhupada said, oh, very good. So I would really request you that you go and hand deliver it. Don't mail it. And then he said, okay, but by the way, one more thing. Once you go there, take this manuscript and you tell that I am a disciple of this Indian guru, and he had just written this manuscript of Bhagavad Gita. And once you tell them, I'm sure they will publish it. Do not worry, Maha. And this Brahmananda, so he went to this huge skyscraper building, and he saw that. He asked, okay, who is this person who has really asked for this album? And he went and found that this person is not really the MD or any senior executive of that company, but just a mail clerk, right? Who is just taking care of the deliveries of the mails. And his heart was devastated, right? What can I do now? Like my spiritual master has given me something to print, and I don't think it is possible. But at the same time, like what to do? Like he was just interacting with him, and then one gentleman came, and intervened in that discussion. I said, and then the person, the mail clerk, he said that okay, he's our senior editor, James Wade. And okay, then Brahmana, he was really excited once again. Oh, maybe there is an opportunity now. And he said, okay, like we have this Bhagavad Gita, and now from this beautiful written manuscript, which is there so nicely, could you please help in publishing it? And once he heard that, he was really, happy. He said, yes, we have now recently published all the spiritual books, but except one, that is a Bhagavad Gita. And we are really looking forward to it. And now it's really wonderful now that you have come to give us, and please come tomorrow and we will publish it. And this Brahmanaja was wondering how it is possible, right? I'm just discussing with this mail clerk, and how suddenly the senior editor came, and how now he's so ready, to fulfill the instruction of this divine, founder Acharya of our movement, Srila Prabhupada. Right? Yes, nothing happens by chance. Lord orchestrates, Lord, intervenes and really facilitates, all the arrangement for his devotee. And thanks to him, you might have heard that how I think just a year back or so, we had a 800 kg biggest Bhagavad Gita in the world in our Delhi temple. And now this Bhagavad Gita distributed and published in more than 60 languages, and more than 600 million of our DVT books, like our Srila Prabhupada books, have been distributed. And per year, we distribute like 8 to 10 million, like 80 to 1 crore books being published every year. Right? Why it is so? Purity is the force. Because in Bhagavad Gita, what you are reading and hearing, this is not ordinary. This is coming directly from Krishna. That's why Prabhupada says, as it is. Okay, so now let's move forward. forward. So yes, we heard that this Arjuna is suffering in confusion, right? And he's in completely disarray, right? And now, right, we'll discuss about, right, in this suffering, what exactly could be the root cause of that suffering? So can we have our first poll for today, Deepak Prabhu? Why exactly we suffer? What are the reasons for suffering? Because we are talking about root cause of suffering. Like, if maybe like you go to some place which is not open for a long time and it's stinking, and then one thing you can do is you bring an odonil and you put it, and then what you can do, right? Like, for some time you'll feel that odonil smell or the fragrance, but over a period of time, once again, that maybe if some rat or something is really dead, another once again that stinking smell will come, right? So right, like we are not solving the root cause, but you are just doing a patch up, right? So now we'll try to understand what is the root cause of the suffering. Can we have the poll, please? Yes, the root cause of my suffering. Is it, right, the root cause of my suffering is always my body? Is it my mind? Or is it my relatives or spouse or kids? Or it could be my boss, or like job has become mundane. It's like other peers. Yes, we have more than 40% of the participants participated. Would like to close it now. Please, in 5 seconds, if you can close it. Yes, thinking of the past or imagine of the future. Let's talk about the present. What exactly the root cause of the suffering? What you have been going through? Or because we heard that, like whoever they are, definitely all of us are suffering, either the biggest billionaire or the famous celebrities. And the biggest one is really the stress and anxiety. And there are some others also who talked about, there are others, maybe you can share what exactly the others. But what we are trying to say is that, like, whatever we have discussed here, are they really the root causes? Like in what do you call it in the Japanese philosophy, they call it fishbone diagram, right? Or like, so they really try to understand to the root of the problem rather than something superficial. And our acharyas, right, they talk about, yes, all expectation of temporary gratification. Then our acharyas talk about why do we suffer. There are really primarily 4 reasons for it. Why? The first one is our ignorance. We don't know. We are in the darkness, because we don't know what is right and wrong. We are, as we discussed in our first session, we are putting that 1 rupee coin close to our eyes, right? And we think that is life. We are not able to see the light of the sun. We are living under the cloud. We cannot see the sun. We are having so much of fog. We cannot see what is really ahead. And the second reason is really arrogance. Because I'm so enamored with keeping myself in the center that I'm not able to visualize, right? Is there something beyond myself who is really controlling? Who is that controller? And then I'm really attached to so many things that I'm really getting engaged. The one I'm trying to have that really becomes the really bait for me to capture me. And yes, and because of the constant comparison that I have with my peers, that neighbors, that enviousness, jealousness, right? These are the 4 things, right, that can be really highly classified, right, categorized into these 4 categories. But then we'll go in detail with respect to each of them, like how Arjuna, right, he went through, right, and personally how we can really apply it in our own life, right? And so before, right, as we proceed, let's understand, please be attentive. These are the 2 beautiful principles that we are talking about now. What we can learn from this section. Okay. So here, we are talking about some growth in our life, and Arjuna is also trying to grow, right? But the biggest impediment for our growth in our learning, or like as a student, right? What anybody knows? These three beautiful words. I know this. I know Gita. I know Krishna. Oh, I know. Like especially in India, right? You ask anybody about these three things. What? About politics, about cricket, about religion. They would have hundreds of opinion about it. Right? Or like anything you need to learn, if you really go somewhere and see that, oh, I know this, will you be able to gain anything out of it? And yes, Arjuna also had the same mentality in the first chapter. Oh, Krishna, right? I have heard that this will happen, or this will incur sinful activities, or we have heard that how our they pitrus, they will get this pindas, because all the male persons, they will kind of leave their body. He was quoting different shastras, right, different things, right? But then he realized that, right, yes, I cannot on my own solve the problems of life, right? Every editor, right, or I would say every author needs an editor, isn't it? Can anybody say that the author and editor remain same, right? And but can we accept ourselves also? Oh, okay, no, I know everything. The Lord is within. I no need to contact anybody. Somebody says that if we say that I accept myself as a guru, please hear. If we accept myself as a guru, then I accept a fool as a disciple. अगर मैं सोचता हूं कि मैं ही मेरा गुरु हूं, तो मैं एक शिष्य को I have made a fool as a disciple. मैं एक मूर्ख को शिष्य बनाया, right? Like I cannot, I don't know, because I have, see, like if you put a big circle, right, and then there are some things which I know that I know. There are some things I know that I don't know, but there are so many things I don't know what I don't know, right? And who are there, right? Like my guide, my mentor, my coach, my well-wishers are there to tell me what I don't know, that I don't know. Yes, it is important for every discipline to accept a guide, to accept a mentor. And similarly here, Arjuna approached Krishna. What is it? Karpanya doso pahato svabhavo prachami tvam dharma samoda cheta yastrehasyanishchitan bruhitan me sisyaste sadhimam tvam prapannam. Isn't there? Oh, Krishna, I don't know. Please accept me. Please guide me. What is Shreya? What is really ultimate good for me? Please instruct me. This is so wonderful principle that we should have. And unless we raise our hand that I'm suffering, nobody is going to help us. You see in this unfortunate world today, how so many people are into so much of depression, and we hear every day some unfortunate stories. And they just stick to themselves. They don't raise their hand. If you are really drowning, you have to raise your hand and say that, please help me, please save me. Unless you raise your hand, who will save you? Who will know that you are drowning or you are just swimming? Please, do reach out, and then find out who are there to support you. And then how Krishna reacts now. This is also one more beautiful principle, right? Please hear carefully. How Lord Krishna responds. What he does? In the first chapter, Lord Krishna didn't say anything. He heard what exactly is the problem of Arjuna. And in the second chapter onwards, then he starts speaking. So if somebody is really coming to you for some guidance, like as a teacher or as a guide or as an elderly member, right? Or your peers as well, if they come back to you, the first thing we need to do is that we should connect to that person. We should hear from that person. We should listen from that person, right? And that is the quality, wonderful quality of a leader, right? First, we seek to understand. This is the beautiful principles of so many relationship problems that we have all around us. First we seek to understand, then to be understood. So what Lord is saying here, that yes, पहले अध्याय सुनिए समझिए. आप सब बोलिए, पहले अध्याय सब सुनिए और समझिए, फिर 17 अध्याय सुनाइए और समझाइए. So first chapter, right over here, that Krishna is hearing all the problems of Arjuna, and then 17th chapter he started discussing about what should be done. There is a lot of conversation happens. So isn't it so beautiful, right? Like in our day-to-day home also, like kid come from the school and I lost my eraser, and then we start giving, you should have done that, and this, or like a spouse comes back from office to home, and then wife says, I have a headache, and then he says, no, why didn't you take a Saridan? Like she knows that there is a medicine for it. But then what she would really like to see is that, please listen to my what exactly the suffering I am going through, and please acknowledge that, and please share that feeling. Yes, if you just say that, what happened here, you are going through so much of trouble, you have so much of suffering, how can I really help you? Just if you see a couple of words, that really soothes the suffering that another party is going through, right? But first of all, you need to listen attentively, give your ears very attentively. Isn't it so wonderful principle that we can learn, like both as a leader or like as a mentor or a mentee, as a coach or coachee, and how it can really solve so many problems, the relationship problems in our life. Okay, so let's proceed further. Now, as we proceed further, as we discussed, this Lord here is being addressed as a Bhagavan Vacha. Same Lord Krishna was there in Bhagavad-Gita, like in this Kurukshetra, and all the Kauravas and everybody was there, but nobody was able to recognize Krishna as Bhagavan, or even there is a Bhagavan. But then, right, how Arjuna could understand? And in our life also, how do you really understand that there is a God? How many of you feel here? Can we have one more poll here? How many of you feel that there is a God, or no, God doesn't exist? Yes, I have a firm faith that God exists. And third could be that maybe he's there because like in I think I have heard that in near Hyderabad there's a visa god, visa wala, like if you go there, you'll get your visa for you. Or some they have that fear that, okay, if you really take care of some unknown fear, right? Like we have that. If there is some God, then he will take care of it. He will not feel bad about it. Right? Or okay, my family is doing it, my peers are doing it. Let me do it. So there are so many, people think so many ways. Okay, so we have a good participation. So now let's end. Wonderful. Right. So here, so fortunate to see that 92% of the participants feels that there is a Lord. Yes, it's no wonder that you are in this Gita course, because you have full faith in the Lord. Thank you very much. Yeah. At the same time, but now I like to see that there are so many people, right? Like we have billions of population. How many of you think that they really take interest in Bhagavad, in understanding the Lord? There's so many people, they really don't care. They don't believe that there is a Lord. Why do you feel that people don't believe in the God? What is the reason? What is your thought? Why don't the people believe in God, or not believe in God? Is if there is a Lord exists or not? Okay, we have one more poll here. Right? What do you think? Why people don't believe in God? Yes, here we're saying that, okay, what is the proof of there is a God? Oh, I can see the God. So, how can I really believe in God? And somebody says, oh, if he's there, then why there is so much suffering? Right? Or there are so many others that we don't know. So, what is your thought? Would like to hear from everybody. Please do share. Is around 50% already participated? Yes. Yes. Please do share. Like now, it's not about you. Now I see that most of you really believe in God, but all around, right? There are so many, right, who don't believe in God. But why? What is the reason behind it? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So once again, it's a wonderful to see what exactly it is. So here we hear that most of the people, they say that, okay, if he's there, then why is so much suffering? Because Lord is supposed to be merciful. He's Karunamaya, he's Dayamaya, he's Daya Sindhu, Karuna Sindhu, he's the ocean of mercy. And then some says that, oh, I can see God. Who has seen God? Can you show me God? Then I'll accept him as a God. The others say that, okay, there is no proof of God. If there's any proof, then I will accept. Right? And there's other so many reasons about it. So now let's try to hear from their perspective. Right? If somebody says that, right? Oh, you attended Gita course. Can you tell me now? Can you prove me? Where is God? What do you say? How you'll answer them? How you will prove them that there is God? Any thoughts? How you'll tell them? Oh, just I believe in my heart and Lord is there. How do you prove them? He's having superpower. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Ms. Rekha is saying that Lord has a superpower. Yes. Now let's go a little bit more about that superpower of the Lord, and how we can really understand. Yes, there is a power beyond our control. Yes, thank you, thank you. Yes, let's now do some quick quiz. I know we used to play this quiz in our childhood days. Let's do a quick quiz. Please chat very fast, okay? So we say that telephone. Who is the inventor of the telephone? Can anybody tell who is the inventor of the telephone? Okay, my daughter is saying that it's Alexander Graham Bell. Okay, yes, Chaitanya and Rekha. Yes, thank you very much for the answer. Telescope. Who is the inventor of telescope? Who is the inventor of the telescope? Yes. Yes, Soumya. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, it's Galileo. And now steam engine. Who is the inventor of steam engine? Who is the inventor of steam engine? Okay, quick. Yes, James Watt. Thank you. Inventor of the bulb, electric bulb. Okay, who is the inventor of the electric bulb? Yes, Raj. Yes, it is Edison. Thomas Edison. Now, the biggest question that I have, $1 million question. सवाल है 1 करोड़ का. देखते हैं कौन जवाब देता है. Who is the inventor of the solar system? Please do answer. Please say, who is the inventor of the solar system? What is the answer? How so beautifully this whole cosmos has been created. And dictionary, the cosmos is defined as a something orderly, systematic, harmonious, in the space. The objects are there in the space. Who has created that? It's so beautifully arranged. Who has that? Who has created all this? In this macro world, this whole galaxy, or the whole planet. How there is a right? There is a difference, right? Like if somebody really gives you a beautiful rose paint, right? A paint of the rose flower, and then somebody really gives you a pepper rose, a rose made in some paper, right? And then somebody really gives a real rose. What is the difference? Just in a paint, you just just some shape is there, some color is there, right? But then once you talk about a paper rose, it has a form and it is a shape, right? You can see it in 3D. But then once you have the real rose with you, yes, it's Andy saying it has a smell, it has a fragrance, it has a taste, right? So if you see some paint, you say that, oh, some painter has painted it. You see somebody right now, a pepper rose, somebody has crafted it. But once you see that real rose, who has really developed that rose? Right? Has it really happened by chance? The whole, right, this planetary system, has it really come by chance? Right? There's a beautiful story of Newton. Once a friend came to him and Newton showed a nice gyroscope with a lot of these planetary models. Right? And he said that his friend asked, "Oh, what is such a beautiful model? Right? I would like to have it. Where did you get it?" And Newton said, "No, it came by chance." How come it can really come by chance? No, it just came by chance. I just put some knots and bolts and somehow it appeared. Right? Like that's why they say, right? Yeah, there was a big bang, right? And then from that, the whole universe appeared with so perfect arrangement. It's just like saying that, oh, right, like there was a monkey and there were a lot of words, and he really picked up all the words and he developed an unabridged dictionary. Is it possible? Right? And then a sane person really understands it's not a big bang from a bomb blast, only comes the debris, not really big skyscraper building with a perfect arrangement, a beautiful palace, right? But there is a big brain behind it, right? Let's go further, right? Now let's talk about, we see there are so many laws are there, traffic laws are there, right? Everywhere, right? And once you talk about traffic laws, there is the traffic police commissioner is there, some government is there. Okay, you go left and right. But what about the universal laws? We talk about laws of thermodynamics, and these laws and that laws. Who has created that laws? It's such a perfect that, right? Like the season, right? You don't see that in summer. There is in summer season or in the month of May, June, you don't feel the cold, or there is there is a system to it, right? Like okay, we talked about Newton's law of motion, but he had just named that phenomena as Newton's law. But before that, it was really existing. Who has created that law? Right? It doesn't happen that how sun, right, rises in the east, no other day will it rise in the west, right? How all the planets, they orbit in a particular orbit, they rotate on a particular orbit, how they don't really kind of just do accident with each other, just like in any organized traffic. Who has made that law? Why there is a perfect arrangement of all these planetary systems? Who has done that? Yes, if there is a law, there must be a lawmaker. We see a beautiful design of some chips or chips board or right PCB. Then we say that, oh, who is that design? Oh, is it Intel or is it coming from Infineon or AMD? But then, have you thought of this intricacy of this a cell or a brain? How complicated it is, and anything that can it really come by chance? Never. Definitely, there is a designer. And we see there are so many beautiful patterns are there, right? Who has really created these beautiful patterns? And that's why they call it the Lord's fingerprint, right? Yes, my friends, right? There are so many reasons, right, that we can really go on discussing about how Lord has really created everything, right? And that's where from that right effect we can really understand the cause, right? Yes, we might not be able to see the Lord, but then we can see that unseen from what exactly we can see from that effect, because of all this arrangement. How Lord is a creator, he is a really organizer, he is a perfect designer, right? How is a perfect lawmaker, right? And once the people said that, oh, how can I really, can you show me God, right? Then we say, okay, right? Are you really qualified? If I say that, oh, Prime Minister, if you are there, just stand in front of me. Am I really qualified, to call Prime Minister, stand in front of me? Right? It's not possible, right? For anything I do, right? Like any science experiment I do, for physics, I do some like vernier caliper I use, for chemistry, I use some chemistry, some apparatus, for biology, I use some microscope. For spiritual science also, you have to go through some experiment. Unless I go through it, how will I learn? And that experience, like as we discussed so many times, right? It is this mantra meditation. Somebody might say, oh, how hydrogen and oxygen, these are the two gases, how it can become a liquid. No, right? Somebody said, oh, it's just then another friend might say, no, you come to the lab and you do the experiment, and then you will really put it, and then you will find it. No, somebody says, oh, it's a crazy, guys, it's just a brainwashing, I don't want to do all these rituals, please show me. First you prove me, then I will go to your lab and I will see that if there is that. You have to put some faith, right? You are putting a faith in the barber, you are putting a faith in the in this pilot, you are putting faith in the doctor who is doing the surgery, right? Why don't you put faith in the real bona fide scriptures and the religious and spiritualists who have really gone through that process and really, felt that and realized that, right? We can really understand, yes, through them. But still, there is a majority of you, they really ask that, oh, why there is so much suffering if there is a God, right? Like this is a beautiful, story I really remembered, and I put it here. One, there was a story of, right, one person who had gone to the barber shop and he was asking that, oh, bro, right, do you know what's happening? It's all people are suffering so much, and if there is a God, definitely he would have really come and saved everybody. But that's why I say there is no God, right? And then this person who was really being saved, he said that, yeah, I can understand, I hear you. And then just he went out and he found out a hippie with a disheveled hair, right, and just unkempt way. And then he came back and said, do you know, my friend, there is not a single barber in our town. And no, there's no barber. You see, there are so many unkempt, people with so long hair, long beards all around. Don't you think that it really proves that there is no God? No. I am really keeping my door open, but they are not coming. What can I do? And that's what the barber said. And this person said, yes, my friend, Lord is keeping his spiritual world open for everybody. He is coming and he's sending his representatives again and again. Please come back to my world, right? Na tad bhasyate surya, na sasanka na pavga, yadgatva nani vartante tadham mama. Yes, please come to my Vaikuntha where there is no anxiety, there is no kuntha. Please come and you can realize it, you really experience it. But we are so happy, right, with our flickering pleasures. Right? We are so happy, with those, lies and with really long hair in the unkempt way, right? We are so habituated to stay in that, darkness that we are not able to go and realize then how Lord and his devotees are so merciful. They are coming again and again to remind us, oh, my friend, let's go back to the spiritual world where there is, and every step there is a dance, every word there is a song, and everywhere how Lord and his friends are singing and dancing. Isn't it so wonderful? Yes, we understand that, right? And Srila Prabhupada, he talks about who is a Bhagavan. Yes, Bhagavan is a controller, he is enjoyer, he is a owner, he possesses everything. Aishwaryasa samagrasya, virya yasa sriya, right? And then Jnana, Vairagyan, Sanna Bhoga, Itingana. Like, and he's possesses all the six opulence. Yes, somebody might say that, oh, this celebrity or that industrialist having some wealth, some all wealth, all knowledge, all duty earners. And most important thing, all renunciation. Like we saw how Krishna, that he's having everything, but still he's completely renounced and he is ready to be a charioteer, right? And that's what, right, the God is about, Bhagavan is about, who really possesses all the opulence. And now we talk about how do we develop faith in God. Yes, right, as we have been doing here. First we have to hear that, yes, there is something, something interesting. But then once you hear, to observe it, like, somebody is having this, right, like a pain, or let's say some kind of, a boil, right? Then you get some ad, right, of this with respect to some balm. Okay, we can really, that if you put that balm, it really cures it. And then you observe that, like, oh, he had that balm, he had that boil and put that balm and it is okay now. And then once you heard it, once you observe it, and then once you have that problem, you really also apply that balm with that boil. Oh, it's getting cured. Now I experience it. I also feel that bliss. And then once I feel that bliss, then I share. And that's what we see, that's what's happening here, right? Like, here, like, all the hippies, right? How they didn't have anything. But once they heard from, Srila Prabhupada that, yes, this is so wonderful process. I'm really giving you this love of Godhead. They really observed how the Swamiji, though he didn't have anything, but he's always in bliss and he's always giving. And then they start, okay, let me also start chanting this Maha mantra and we'll see what happens. And then they really experience bliss, though they were taking so many, things like, and they were living in so dirty places, right? We cannot even imagine, we cannot even talk about it, right? Then they experienced, and like, we cannot imagine, like, there are 3 couples being sent by Srila Prabhupada to London, and they were so experienced and so ecstatic that they were really preaching celebrities like Beatles here, George Harrison and so many people. How could they really get that strength because they were completely convinced that yes, this process works. This process really gives the bliss of Krishna consciousness. Okay, let's go further. Now we understand about God. Okay, and how we can really develop faith in the God and so on. Then let's understand about ourselves. Who am I? Right? Because yes, we have to be free from this diseases or the true root cause we talked about, agyan and andhakar and ahamkar. Right? So let's understand, who am I? Why? Is there any, is there any life after death? Have you just thought about it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, maybe I can just tell it once again quick story, because I love to tell some stories because they're very interesting. So once a time there was a bird like eagle really flying, and then suddenly because of some reason she dropped an egg right on a nest of the like a hen, right, where the other eggs were also there. So it was a very wonderful incident, right? Then that egg also fell on that same nest, and that mother hen, right, because of the love, right, that she sowed, right, because of the warmth, right, not only the chicks developed, but then she realized that there was this another odd looking egg. It is really taking longer time. She gave extra warmth, and then he saw that okay, there is one more wonderful different creature and come up. Then she also continued to give right the same love, and along with right other chicks, this odd looking creature also was really going around and doing chick chuck chick chuck chick chuck and right getting all the grains from everywhere. And then at some point of time he was thinking that okay, like I'm feeling something different. I want to really fly in the sky, right? What I'm doing here, and I'm suffering, and then right like sometimes she was thinking of flying, but then no, I don't want to really and everybody is really just walking around. Why should I fly? If I fly, I'll just go down and I will get killed myself. But then one time this farmer saw that okay, this is not an ordinary chick, this is really eaglet, right? And then that farmer put it really onto the on a small branch, and then she started looking. Oh, eaglet, you see, that's where your home is. Your home is really in the sky. You are there to fly, right? And then right, the farmer just pushed that eaglet, and what happened? The eaglet fell down. But then once again that farmer took up, and then once again gave a little bit nice pep talk and really started helping in the flapping the wing. And then once again that eaglet, once it came down, but then once again she started flying, and then realized, yes, I'm also not an ordinary one. I'm not one of those, right, chicken, but really, right, or the chicklets, but I'm really one of that eagle who is meant to fly. So how do we really understand who are we? Right? How do we really understand how it's our identity? Because most of the times, like we identify ourselves that okay, I am so and so by name. Oh, I'm so Hindu. Oh, I'm Indian. Right? I am so many identities that we have. Oh, small. I really identify myself as a small boy, then a young boy, or then old guy. Right? Like we have so many identities as we grow up. We have so many roles to perform. Right? What is my true identity? Anybody? What exactly is my true identity that really never changes? What really doesn't change? Who am I? Yes, all of you are so expert. All of you are so spiritual scientists. Give sense of self-realizance. Otherwise, what they say, right? Yes, what exactly? Like even in the science, right? They talk about okay, this body is nothing but like just a chemicals. And somebody like said that some university, some in the US, that oh, this body, like if you talk about let's say 60 kg body, and now we have maybe calcium, sodium, potassium, and all the chemicals are there, which may be worth of 110 rupees. And then one of our scientists devotee said that okay, I'll give you 110 rupees. Can you just bring up a human living being? It's not possible, right? Or right, somebody say, oh, like no, Swamiji, like this body is just a like complex machine, right? But then Srila Prabhupada said that okay, if you think that it's just a body, like it's a complex machine, if you just bring a male and female car, and if you in it, can you really produce a car? Or let's say you can say nowadays, right? You can bring a desktop and you bring a laptop. Can it really produce a palm top? Right? What is really the unique thing about this body. Right? There are so many ways that we can really introspect ourselves. Right? Who are we? Can somebody come in the video and have a quick, I would really like one of you to come in video, please. Anybody would like to volunteer? Yes. Yes, I see Miss Anita is there. Would you like to do a quick demo? Yes. Now I'll say you something. Okay. So please show me your head, like what you used to do in a small younger days. Please show me your head. Yes. Hand. Okay. Show me your nose. Show me your nose. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Now show me your eyes. Eyes. Okay. Thank you. Now show me yourself. Show me yourself. Who are okay, right? So we talked about that how we can realize this is very logically as well. We said that yes, we identify ourselves, with our body, but then we understand that myself and my body are different. This is my eye. This is my ears. This is my nose. This is my head. This is my hand. But who am I? So definitely, logically, from the common sense perspective, also, I am and this my body are different. Or if somebody really leaves, right, in our near and dear ones, we say that, oh, he has left. That same person would be really lying down, but we say that, oh, he has left or she has left. But who has left? That person is still there. We might say that, oh, wo chale gaye. Somebody says in Odia, oh, na se chali galle. Or somebody says, oh, gayo. Like, we might say in a different languages. But who has that person left? He's still there. And now, right, we get so scared that, as quickly as possible, we want to really take him or her to the cremation ground and to really, do the needful. Right? Why it is so? Who has left? What is the difference between that body which is really lying, right, on the floor and who was really right, just active a while back? What is the difference? Can we really think? Can we just really spend some time logically? What is the difference? And then we'll realize that yes, we are just not just going through this journey, right? But we are really spiritual beings, right, with this human body, right? And then we really understand that yes, within us there is a soul. Like Prabhupada always gives this beautiful example of, right, a bird in the cage or a driver in the car, right? We cannot satisfy the bird by just painting outside. Can we satisfy? We are just giving food to our body, but have you thought of giving food to our soul? And it's no wonder that over a period of time, the bird will feel malnourished because we are just painting the cage. Is it okay that we are just feeding the car the fuel, but you don't talk about the driver? Is it possible? Right? That's what we have been doing. Right? And now let's do a quick poll. Right? Here once again, I know that, right, all of you are spiritual scientists already, but can you just do a quick poll? How much you really feel that there is a life after death? Yes. How many of you believe that there is a life after death? Yes. Oh, no, everything is finished as soon as you really bury him or cremate him, right? Oh, yes. We had previous life and then we have future birth. And some are saying that maybe I don't know. Right? I'm not aware of it. And some also says that, no, I don't want to talk about death. I'm too scared to think about it. Okay, let's end the poll. But most of the people, right, you are saying that, what you are saying is that, yes, we had previous life and we'll have future birth. And some of you saying that, yes, I don't know, right? And then some of you honest and saying that, no, there is nothing. But now we'll just spend a couple of minutes, right? And then, of course, today we are running out of time. We'll send you a couple of videos and a couple of details so that we can really understand a little bit more about this subject, right? So scientifically, right, there is something called near-death experience. And these are really scientists, okay, like we talked about logically or common sense perspective, right? We are talking from this scientists now, where they have really observed something called near-death experience. So a person is going to leave his body or going through a major traumatic experience, where a person is on the operation theater, where like his brain waves are really like inactive, his like the ECG, they say like it's really getting flat, that right. But then after the surgery is done, or like then they realize that the person's like he's telling, okay, what exactly was that surgery was all about. And there's so many recorded right instances are there, how right a person comes out of it right somehow and really says that, oh, this was observing that doctors were really helpless, then they were really in anxiety, how they were trying to get the different instruments right to get all that, so how they were able to do it. And there are so many others, like there's something called like Dr. Jan Stevenson. You really search it right in Google, you'll find thousands of books and really thousands of articles. He has really done more than 3,000 investigations to talk about how right there is a reincarnation, there is a life after death, right? And there's this wonderful incident. It's happened in Bombay. Like there's a guy called Deep Kapadia. He was born in Bombay, and when he was 2 years old, he's right started talking about something from Udaipur, and how like he started speaking Marwari, though he was born in Bombay, and not different languages he started speaking about. He started speaking about, oh, right, somehow I feel really nervous and things like that. And once they heard that, like they went to a doctor called Dr. Ramakant Keni, and then said, okay, like maybe this person is talking about maybe his last life. And then right, they said, okay, let's go for a picnic. And they went to they didn't say anything to him, but they once they boarded a vehicle, they boarded a bus, and they came down. And then there's a boy who's just a 2.5-year-old. He's saying that, oh, we have come to Udaipur. Oh, this is Victoria. They said this is a Fateh Memorial. Oh, this is City Palace. He's then started walking in the front, though he's coming for the first time to that place, right, along with his relatives and this doctor and some reporters and so on. And he was telling them, okay, this is the City Palace, and this is where, right, oh, there's this kerosene lamps are there, do you know, right? And there was no, there is nothing. No, you go to that room, and in that cupboard you will find it, there's some kerosene lamps are there, do you know, right, there is a escape route from this palace. No, there is nothing like that. Then he said, okay, you just remove this life-size portrait and you will find that there is a route that can be through that you can be escaped. Do you know that there is also entrance to come to this palace as well? There is a secret entrance, and now it is guarded by the snakes. And he was telling so much details about that palace, and everybody was really surprised how it is happening. He never been to this place. He's just a 2.5-year-old boy. And then right, then he went to right his earlier house, and then he saw that his son was there, right? His son, right? Like, of course, he was a grown-up boy, but then the son was thinking that, oh, no, all these guys, they have come with some plot so that they want to take all my property. So he was a little skeptical. But then, his friends said, no, he's looking like your father only. And then reluctantly, he took his father, who was a 2-year-old boy, in his arms and really going around. And then he started saying so many detailed things. And then right, and all these people, right, because of enviousness, they poisoned me with that milk, and now, right, I am here, right? So there are so many cases are there. After this person is now a professor, right, in Bombay. Like there are so many wonderful, right, like these examples are there. Some that say that, okay, right, how that I don't know, how I am not able to remember. Can you believe that if you remember all these kind of pastimes, that somehow somebody had really poisoned somebody, or you went through some crash, or some incident had happened, you'd have really gone crazy. You should really live now, or you should really live in their past life. It's so troublesome. That's why Lord has given me somehow this made this wonderful arrangement that we really forget everything of our past life. Right? Isn't it so wonderful? Right? How can you really explain? Right? Like you talk about a scientist, right? They explain about twins. It comes from the same egg, having the same DNAs, but how they are, having two different souls, they have different behaviors. How it is possible? How some people have different phobias? They don't want to go into some heights. They want to really see, get scared with some firearms. Yes, because of their last birth. right? How, like there are two different people, born in a different families with different opulence, different bodily features. Yes, we'll discuss, of course, all these things in the, once you discuss about karma. But what are you trying to say is, yes, right? Logically, from common sense perspective, from scientifically, and now we can also quickly just go through from the scriptures as well, right? What scriptures also talk about in Bhagavad-Gita? That's the first instruction that we said that. Yes, Lord is saying, Dehi nosmin yatha dehi kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namohati. Lord is saying to Arjuna, yes, as the soul really continuously passes from this, and in this body itself, right, from this young to the old age, similarly, it passes to another body and death, right? Even the science also says every 7 years, all the cells are changing in a body, right? And the Lord is saying that, yes, just like in a person, right, throw away the old garment, takes a new garment. Similarly, the body also throws away this old garment. Oh, it's dirty, it's not looking tall, and takes a new garment. Vasam sijirnani yatha vihaya navani grunhati naroparani tatha sarirani vihaya chirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. How? A body takes a soul takes a new body. That is all about, right? Death and a birth, right? Now we understand that how, right? Like, yes, we have something gross, like which is made of this earth, water, fire, this panchabhuta, and there is something called subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego, right? And this is nothing but like, if somebody really wearing a three-piece suit, there's like an outer suit and there's an inner one, right? And that's the difference. Like in Bhagavad-Gita, we'll hear later, right? In the 7th chapter, the Lord talks about how there is some panchabhuta and there is something superior. There's a soul, right? And which really controls this panchabhuta. So now we really understand all this. Can we just in 1 minute, right? We'd like to reflect now. Now we understand, like now we've understood who is God, and we have now developed some faith in the God. Now we understand, right? Okay, what exactly I am, and then yes, there is a life after death. But then, how can I really practically apply it in my life? How can I really practically apply it in my life? Any thoughts, comments? Hare Krishna. Yes, our Upanishad says that yes, we need to understand the supreme goal of our life. That's why it says asatoma satgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritagama. What does this mean? Yes, we are part and parcel of the Lord. We are the part and parcel of the Sachidananda, full of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Yes, that's why we are looking for eternity. We are looking for bliss. We are looking for knowledge. But we are being covered with this Panchabhuta. But then, as we really move from this one body to another body, right, or any circumstances that comes through, right, a person understanding that yes, I am the soul, he becomes fearless. That because yes, right, I am here, but there is a supreme Lord who is there for me. If I really go back to him, definitely it's not really right. I'm really leaving everything or losing everything, but I'm really gaining everything, right? Like people talk about death as they fear so much of death or any other problems, any other dualities in their life. But then how it becomes steady in so-called difficulties. And then another beautiful problem that the problem that everywhere people talk about is the racism and this tolerance issues and so on. But then once you understand that how everybody is a soul, a part and parcel of the Lord, and how we can have a unity and diversity in a single family, and we understand how like the soul, yes, they are pure, but at the same time, because of these influence the modes of nature, they are acting in a tough way, right? And understanding that yes, we take care of our physical needs by giving food to our body, we give food to our right mind and intelligence, intellectually and emotionally, but then we need to take care of our soul as well. So isn't it so wonderful, right? Of course, we'll be discussing that's why I say the part 1 and part 2. So in detail we'll discuss about, right, on this chapter 2, and also right on this practical aspects of knowing this, like if there's a God or if there's a soul, and why you are suffering and how can you really come out of it. Please stay tuned. Next week we'll be discussing in detail. So before that, any questions, comments we have? I see. Please do share if you have any questions or comments. Okay. Okay.
SVL Narayan has
Okay, so would like
raised
to
his
share,
hand.
Mr. Narayanan, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself. Okay, maybe you can just think about it. Okay, I'm not. Okay, Miss Anita is asking what is the meaning of Hare Krishna mantra? Very beautiful question. Right, so meaning of Maha mantra is Srila Prabhupada very beautifully explains that yes, these are the names of the Lord. These are the names of Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, and Hare is the energy of the Lord. And just like a child, crying for the mother's attention, a helpless soul, seeking the love of the Lord, right? And he's saying that no, that's not that asking the Lord to serve me, but a soul is really going back and the Lord, oh Lord, please engage me in your service. I want to serve you. I want to develop the love, right? Like if you want to love somebody, love means please somebody. If you want to please somebody, you have to serve somebody, isn't it? Whoever you want to love, if love means you want to please them. If you want to please them, means you have to serve. Simple definition, right? And Srila Prabhupada has, explained this in a very beautiful way. How can I serve you, Supreme Lord? That's the simple meaning of this Maha Mantra. And that's the mood that we are praying for. Oh Lord, somehow or other I have fallen into this material world where there's a full of suffering. Now I want to really come back to you. Right? Please help me in developing my faith in you so that I can really connect with you. Yes, this whole process is about understanding myself, understanding the Supreme Lord, and what is the relationship we have. And then how can I really develop that? How can I really awaken that faith of my relationship with the Supreme Lord? Okay. And yes, how population, yes, Mr. Chaudhary, how population is increasing if soul gets incarnated? That's a wonderful question. Yes, it's not that we are talking about only human body, right? We are really talking about the the soul is there also in the plants. Soul is there because that's why the tree is growing. The soul is there in the insects also. This soul is there in animals as well, right? So yes, there are so many stories, right? Like we heard in Bhagavatam, the story of Bharat Maharaj, right? Or there are so many other stories as well. Like somebody sometimes kings becomes an elephant. Yes, as we really evolve ourselves, the lower species also they get an opportunity to evolve into the higher species. Do we suffer due to our soul not being taken care of? Exactly, that is the point that we are trying to say, right? Because we are taking care of our bodily needs, our intellectual need by learning so many new skills, right? Emotionally as well by taking care of being with the family, but we are starving our soul, right? And that's the real reason of our suffering, because there is a vacuum within, right? And now once you start feeding our soul by connecting yourself to the Supreme Lord, because that's the what the soul is really hankering for, to connect to the Supreme Lord, right? Once you take care of that food of the soul, definitely things will be taken care. Yes, Ms. Hema is also asking, okay, why only Rama and Krishna? Yes, we'll discuss once again, but in essence, in the different scripts, we cannot just take any names. Yes, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Sakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Sarva. You have given all your potencies in all the names. Right? Yes, all the names of Lord Vishnu. They are very powerful. At the same time, like a doctor prescribes some medicine, we have to follow that medicine. Yes, because in this age of Kali, it is mentioned that, and how we have to chant this mantra, which really contains this all powerful names of Krishna and Ram. And we'll discuss, like once you talk about mantra meditation, we'll discuss about the potency of the names of Krishna, Rama, and so on. So yes, Mr. Deepak is asking, what is the actual relationship between soul and body? Yes, Lord is saying, Mamavam sa jiva loka jiva bhuta sanata manasasthan indriyani prakriti sthani karsati. Lord is saying, Mama Eva Amsa Jiva Loke. Yes, the soul is part and parcel of the Lord. Like just a drop of water and the ocean, just a ray of sun and the sun, right? Yes, we are qualitatively one, but quantitatively We are just tiny. We are Anu, and Lord is Vibhu. Okay. So I think there are so many other questions are there. Will be because we are running out of time now. Please do join our Thursday session where we are talking about food for soul, where we'll have some wonderful discussions. Right? We'll be reciting Bhagavad-Gita from chapter 2 and part 2, and we'll be watching from Srila Prabhupada, and we'll be singing some bhajans, and we'll continue. Like, please do join, and definitely we'll take all the questions that you have asked, and we'll be taking care of all the questions there in detail. Okay, and we have just started our like mantra meditation as well to practice together. This is chanting of the. We want to do this experiment together. We talked about, right? We have to do the experiment. Yes, let's do this experiment together by chanting together. Please do join every Saturday morning, 7 to 7:30. Right? Yes, and some are really suffering, as you said. Our purpose is to Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. We want to see everyone happy, right? And we heard that Ms. Sikha Roy, who just departed, and Mr. Subhiram Pradhan, I believe, going through some surgery, and Ms. Salujan also, right? They have always requested for some prayers. And we heard that Ms. Janani and some other devotees who had asked for some prayers, and they were happy that their parents were discharged from the hospital. Yes, Lord is all powerful. He really takes care, and He really does the needful, right? He knows what exactly is best for us. But at the same time, let's pray for all living entities, and especially for these wonderful souls, so that they can really get closer to the Supreme Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Namaste Jaste Jase Avir Bhava Vajranakha Vajradamstra Karmasayan Randhaya Tamo Graso Vam Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhuishta Om Shrom. Shri Bhakti Vigna Vinasaka Narsimade Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakta Srimani Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, so just we'll have a quick chanting, and then we have a special guest today, Mr. Hariharan, who has done his MS from USA and also PhD from USA, and he's like a scientist. And we will be fortunate to have their association today. So they will be leading us this wonderful kirtan. His son Prahlad, he's known in our congregation as a beautiful kirtaniya. So please do stay tuned to hear this wonderful family take us through this kirtan. They are just waiting for us. So before that, just let's do a quick chanting of this Maha Mantra, and then we'll come back for a live kirtan of singing and dancing. Hare Krishna. Yes, Deepak Prabhu, can we start our chanting video? Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So would like to request all the devotees, please
please do that experiment and really feel the bliss in your heart. Please continue this mantra meditation. We have heard that so many of you have already started chanting. We are very happy to hear that you have already started this experiment, and definitely you will experience the result and feel the bliss. And please do share with your near and dear ones, to join this and to share this beautiful process of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Thank you very much. So now would really like to go back. There we have Prahlad, Uttara. They are there to take us to the Goloka. Thank you very much. Yes, please unmute. Hariharan Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes, that's correct.
Namo Krishna Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Krishna Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Hare
संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Very much. Thank you very much, Prahlad, Uttara, and Hariharan Prabhu and Mataji for such a heartfelt offering of prayers. Yes, this is the meaning of Maha Mantra, where we offer everything from our heart, from our soul, surrendering everything at the Supreme Lord by chanting not only from the tongue but from the heart. So thank you very much. Really, really thankful to you for sharing your time with us, and we would like to thank once again all the participants for joining today, and we look forward to have your association very soon. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
And we
Prabhu.
thank all the volunteers, our facilitators as well for this program. Thank you. Thanks, Prahlad, Uttara again. Thank you. Okay. Hare Krishna.